Luxury stores can feel a little overwhelming, right? So many beautiful pieces from high-end to low-end, but what to pick? I spent a day browsing for you, and I think I actually found a few that might be worth it. Hey, I'm Luna, and I love exploring fashion in a way that feels elevated but still personal. Let's go shopping together. Today we're spending the day in a Dutch store called the Bijkerf. It's similar to Selfridges in London with the shops within a shop concept. And our first stop is Demellier for bags. If you haven't heard of this brand before, it reminds me of Saint Laurent chic minimalistic vibes, but without that price point. I was drawn to the brown suede bag because the shape felt so timeless and elegant, and the smaller version of it is actually the newer one because first they only did the big version. Although I do think the big one fits a laptop, so it could be used for school or work. I was also really intrigued to see what Chloé was doing since I've heard whispers of a boho resurgence happening. However, I didn't go for anything boho. I went for my typical favorite color, black. I recognize this handbag because online I had seen it in pink suede. However, I didn't know it also came in black and it was so beautiful. And then my sister asked me, how much do you think this handbag costs? And I said, I think it's 1,700 euros. And she said, no, it's 2,400 euros. And that was a lot more than I expected. But I have good news. If you're just as smitten as me about this handbag, I found it on a trusty website that I've bought from before for 1,680 euros. So that's a lot better, and it's funnily enough close to the price that I guessed it was. And I also think they have an even extra discount going on right now. The design of this bag is so up my alley. I love the hardware, the beautiful leather, the many pockets, and the extra strap. If you're in the market, hurry up because it's a gorgeous bag. When it comes to handbags, I also think it comes down to how you use them, because if I think about my mom, she only uses one handbag. That's the only one she has, that's the only one she uses. But I personally like to switch it up depending on my outfit, depending on the look. And because of this, it will also change where your budget goes. Do you spend this budget on multiple bags or rather have that one investment? So if you're more like me, then keeping an eye out on what Coach is doing, for example, is a great option. We're taking our time here at Coach because apart from Demellier, where we had our first stop, Coach is also one of my favorite brands for bags because they both have real leather, great quality, and I think a really decent price point for that quality. I wonder, how do you categorize a brand like Coach? I always call them mid-range or premium, but I've also heard people call them low-end luxury, so I'm curious, what do you call these type of brands? Another great option if you're looking for a school or a work bag, because this bag is extremely light. I love it because how many bags are heavy by themselves? This one isn't. It's also in the it color of this season, and that's brown. According to one of the trend reports, monogram is making a comeback, and I've never really been a monogram girly, but I will admit that the way that Coach has done this even makes me consider if I want a bag like this. I forgot how much fun it can be to window shop in real life stores since I mainly buy online nowadays. I did spot this bag online before and I liked it, but now being able to interact with it made me appreciate it even more. The deep rich brown color is so up my alley, and a bag with silver hardware is something I'm lacking in my collection of mainly gold hardware bags. The cargo pockets in the front are stunning to me, and I guess I have a type since the extra pockets on the Chloé bag also tickled my fancy. Honestly, being able to try it in real life made me put this bag on my wish list, whereas scrolling past it online didn't quite hit the same. Let's look at a few more bags before we move upstairs to try on clothes. Jacquemus is a designer brand that offers quite a few bags under the 1,000 euro mark, which almost feels rare nowadays since brands are doing price increases left and right. I feel like some people look down on this brand as a luxury brand, but I'm not really sure why. I was really intrigued by their bucket bags and especially how they opened and closed. But once I tried on a smaller bucket bag, I realized that to me that didn't make a lot of sense. To me, a bucket bag should have a bigger shape, I guess, almost like a real bucket. So if I had to pick between the two, I'd choose the bigger one. But then again, I also like to carry a lot of stuff with me at all times. A girl needs an on-the-go snack, am I right? Another great contender for a bag with boho vibes is this bag from Isabel Marant. But I will have to admit that this color is just not it for me. It doesn't fit in my wardrobe in the color palette that I own. But I do think it's a really pretty bag. I really love the woven kind of braid detail. Isabel Marant also has bags under 1,000 euros, but enough about bags now. Let's head up and see what Sandro is doing. Sandro is a French premium brand with that effortlessly chic Parisian vibe. It's a brand that I have consistently been buying from in recent years since their style aligns with mine. But on top of that, the fit of their pieces seems to work great for my body type. These reasons make it a safe bet for me to find something that I will endlessly love and wear. This brown cardigan with removable ruffle collar, as well as the brown sweater I looked at before this, seem like such good wardrobe staples for fall/winter. And then I fell in love. I saw this coat and oh my god.
That's what just
All I could think about was that coat and how gorgeous it was, but of course I also saw this fluffy one, so both will be tried on because I love a good coat, and these were impeccable. They took my breath away, and I don't think I've ever had the same reaction to a man as to these coats. I don't own a brown coat, and I was happily surprised to run into this gem. It really ticked off the boxes in what I like in a clothing piece. Sometimes people ask me how I shop or if I keep a certain aesthetic in mind when looking for clothes, and I would recommend to not overthink it. If you tend to gravitate towards an item regardless of what anyone else thinks, then it means it's for you. You saw my reaction to me finding this coat on the hanger. That's stunning. Oh, I love that. There are certain things though that I do tend to like over and over again, and therefore aligns with my personal style. I tend to mainly look at the shape or fit of a garment and find beauty in details such as good buttons or hardware. What I appreciate about Sandro is that they don't cheap out on their buttons, and they also always deliver a spare button with their garments. So what has me smitten about this coat is the way that the shoulder fits, of course, the buttons. I just love those details so much, and I think it's good for fall winter to have both an option of a longer coat and a shorter coat, because a longer coat keeps your legs a bit warmer and protected from windy weather, whereas a shorter coat for me is fun to not only show your outfit a bit better, but it's also great for the more transitional, milder days. One of the typical items we tend to see in fall winter is a faux fur coat. This one is so extremely soft. I could sleep in this, I could sleep on this coat. It's so extremely soft. I feel like this is a great coat if you like giving hugs to people, because I don't think people will let go. But I do want to discuss something that's been on my mind for quite a while, and that's whether something like a faux fur coat is a fall winter staple or a trend. I feel like nowadays the word trend has almost replaced what we used to call seasonal essentials. I have seen a trend report saying high boots are fall winter trends, and honestly it feels a little bit silly to read that, because boots for fall winter is just an essential for many people. I'm actually really curious to know your view on this. Do you think the word trend has lost its meaning? Or can we also see it in a way that language has evolved and the word trend is now the way to refer to seasonal staples? Drop a comment down below, and I'm really curious to know your thoughts on this. The fall winter trend reports that I did take a look at mentioned some more typical seasonal things like brown, suede, high boots, and faux fur coats. But those staples aside, something else that I did find noteworthy to mention is that the Miu Miu aesthetic seems to be gaining popularity for the upcoming seasons. So I just tried on this vest from Sandro and I absolutely love it. I haven't seen this one online yet, but if I can find everything, I will link it below, because the denim is gorgeous, the buttons are gorgeous, the structure is gorgeous. Here we have the vest with the full body shot, and I adore the way that this looks. I didn't think I'd be adding more to my wish list, but I actually am, because this is stunning. I love it so much. And this with a turtleneck underneath it for fall winter, just leaving it hanging open, or just wearing it like a top like I am now. I think this is a very versatile piece. Funnily enough, I'm more a fan of denim vests than denim pants, because denim vests are more comfortable than denim pants. Finding good denim pants is a big pain in the ass. Yeah, I do think this is a really nice sweater, very comfy, and it looks just really nice. It's giving that kind of preppy vibe that we will be seeing a lot this fall winter. So yeah, this really fits that aesthetic that we love from the preppy kind of Miu Miu vibe this fall. And burgundy, color of the season. And the double stripe is also something that's trending very much. So this really ticks off the box, but it still feels quite timeless and beautiful because it's Sandro, and Sandro pieces have lasted me so long. If you want to still be cozy and comfortable, but in a more elevated and chic way, this is the way to do it. I also really like the way they styled it on the mannequin with the white blouse underneath it for the full-on preppy look. I look quite cutesy in this sweater, which is quite different from my normal feminine and elegant style. This is not something I would normally wear, but I like it actually. It surprised me. Sometimes it's good to try something new. I think what Sandro does really well is like small little details in the buttons, and I feel like it often kind of elevates the garment. This is a bit too much of a boxy fit for what I would like, but I do think this would look really good on someone else. I do like the color a lot though. It's again this kind of burgundy shade. Of course, you can also leave the buttons open. I guess maybe it would be better if I would tuck it in. Maybe that would be better, but yeah. Not bad, but not my favorite from the things I've tried so far. I think the denim jacket was my favorite. As I left the fitting room, I noticed this vest that I had missed. And just when I was about to try it on, I heard someone on the speaker of the store say, "Only 5 minutes left before the store closes." So that's why I'm so focused looking in these clips, since I didn't want to linger for too long. I'm also kind of baffled that I missed this vest at first because just like so many other things in my shopping trip today, this also became a highly favorite that is now on the wish list. Do I look like a fancy waitress in this? Maybe, but it has the details that I like. It's also a great versatile piece for the wardrobe to play with and to give a lot of different outfit combinations. But unfortunately, with the rush of the store closing, I did a big oopsie and forgot to film an outro. So if you made it to the end of the video, I want to thank you so much for watching. Feel free to subscribe, like, and comment. I hope you're doing well, and I would love to see you back. Bye bye!